Welcome to another Sunday WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to community leaders and local success stories to discuss important information that affects all of us here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we're joined by another distinguished guest. Cindy Whitlock, who is the Director of School Health from New River Health, joins us this morning. Thanks so much for coming to the forum.
Thanks for being asked.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, for the people out there that may be unfamiliar with what school-based mental health is, can you give them a little info on that?
Well, school-based health, the definition is basically putting a doctor's office in a school. It's been a long time since school nurses were in an office full-time in every school every day. Many of the schools don't have the opportunity to have a nurse that doesn't travel. I'm 3 times a week, 2 hours in this school and that school. They deal a lot more with diabetics and people who need things on a certain time schedule, and they travel a lot. So school-based health is a full-time clinic where there is a provider, a medical provider, a mental health provider, and then we do dental screenings on an itinerant basis where we travel around to the schools. We have kind of been lax purposely with dental because of COVID, and we're getting back into the schools to do those. The state requires screenings at certain age levels, and they also require vaccinations at certain age levels, and we try to help with that. The idea behind school-based health is the child or the teacher, we see adults too in most of the schools, they don't have to miss a day to go make a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or see a mental health counselor. They can do that during school time, not during their core subjects, but during a time that's convenient and appropriate for the educational system, but they don't miss school. Therefore, they're seen quicker. They may not be as sick as long. Even if they have to go home for a certain amount of time, they know sooner. We can get the prescriptions to the parents. The parents can give consent with a QR code. If the child is standing in front of us and we don't have consent to treat, they can do that immediately digitally. And mental health is the same way. We have mental health counselors in all our sites. We have 8 sites, either in a school, outside of school, in a trailer, double wide kind of situation, or somewhere in the school where the school system has given us space where we've put up walls and made an office. So we have 8 sites, and they serve 10 schools in Nicholas, Raleigh, and Fayette counties.
Oh, that's really great, and I feel like it's probably really positive in outcome for the students and the parents as well, because the parents are usually the ones that are leaving work to go take their kids to the appointments and things like that.
And if you work in Charleston and your kids, at Fayetteville, you have to have some way to get that child cared for. We also take care of the school staffs. We accept PIA and most insurances, so the bus drivers can get their DOT physicals with us. We also have a cooperative agreement with Just for Kids where we have 2 providers who do the well child checks on kids that they have in their system. We try to be community partners as well as school partners so that we get involved in all the school events, the parent engagement nights, the open houses, the special things that they do in the school, and that gives everybody a way to meet us and know that we're part of the school.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. And what type of, what has the impact been since adding the new Oak Hill location of New River Health?
Well, the new Oak Hill location has been very popular because of its accessibility and its visibility. We've been in Scarborough since 1978, and although everybody kind of knew about us, they didn't see us every single day like they do now when they're on their travels. So we've got a lot of new patients that way. We've had some good bad stories where we've had travelers going by and they see New River Health, they don't feel well, they pull in. We had one gentleman pull in because he didn't feel well. When he got to the door, he passed out. We got the ambulance there, we took care of him immediately. He went off, his wife was thankful that we were there, but he saw the New River Health and knew that he could get care right there and just pulled in. And fortunately, our staff was ready, willing, and able to take care of that. We have a special ambulance entrance in the back. We have partners with physical therapy. We have partners with Hilltop Coffee. We're getting ready to add some more partners. We hope to expand into optometry, podiatry, some other much needed levels of care for some of our patients who are maybe diabetic or have other issues. Diabetes is one of those things that you can detect, that eye doctors can detect just as easily as blood or anybody else that is working with a patient. So we have walk-ins are welcome. We're open later every day. We're open Saturday mornings. We have a drive-through pharmacy there. So it has a lot of features that Scarborough wasn't as accessible for most of the people.
That's great. And it kind of seems like you all are looking to become like a one-stop shop for like all your, your medical, ailments and needs. Like you need an eye appointment, you can come here.
Exactly. Hopefully, one-stop shop is a good way to look at healthcare, because what happens when you get to our site, oh, I didn't know you had dental, or I didn't know I could get my PT from your partner here, and they learn more about us and our services. LabCorp is also one of our partners, so they walk over and get their labs, and they can do that at their convenience. And LabCorp works with us as far as our hours. So it is, yes, you can get all the services that you need, and we're starting to build on that.
And have you seen any feedback from the community itself with the new location, or even with any of the New River Health locations? How has this impacted people in their lives locally?
We have a lot of comments when we go out to speak to the Rotary or different organizations that we're glad we're out there. We still have our pharmacy in Fayetteville. We have quite a popularity build up in Fayetteville, so that if you walk into Fayetteville, they know your name and they talk to you about your problems, or your mother if you're taking care of a parent. They're very friendly and servicing the whole family, not just the one person who might walk through the door. So the Fayetteville pharmacy is still going strong. So having a pharmacy also attached to the services. In Fayetteville, we have a school health site on the school parking lot, so we can accept outside patients there. The people don't have to go into the school to get medical or mental health care, and they can just go right there behind Pies and Pints for their pharmacy needs. They don't even have to go out on Route 19 and get in that traffic, which makes a lot of people nervous now that we're a real national park. We really have a lot of traffic on the highway, and a lot of people with issues with their medical or other health care. They're a little squeamish about driving out there. So that works really well. Sophia gives us an arm in the end of the county in Raleigh. So we have all three schools in Coal City. We have Coal City Elementary, Independence Middle, and Independence High. And then we have a great doc, Jeremiah Miller, at the Sophia site. And we have a pharmacy there. So we have a lot of small one-stop shops, and then we have the larger one in Oak Hill.
Wonderful, and really accessible, to whoever, may be in the area that be like, oh, well, I need this, and
right.
We head over to New River Health.
We try to be. Now, we're not open like the big box stores are, but the pharmacies are open till 5:30 every day of the week, and that's 5 on Friday nights, and then Saturday morning in Oak Hill. So we have a little more, we're a little broader in our scope of hours than we were, but and we just keep working on adding more. We're getting ready in Oak Hill to add more women's health care. We have somebody coming on who's an OBGYN, so we'll be able to take care of prenatal and women's health from all their lives. And teenagers, we have somebody working with us who will do 0 to 25-year-olds. So we have pediatrics covered. So if you walk in the door, you'll probably get somebody to help you who fits what you need, if you know what I mean. We're getting ready on October 19th. We're going to have a 1-year anniversary health fair where we'll have all our services in our attached neighbor, which is a New River Convention Center, which we own as part of the New River Health Corporation. It's a separate entity, but it's a convention center open to the public to rent for wedding receptions, reunions, events of any kind. So we'll have all our folks at tables we'll do lab work, we'll do vaccines, flu shots. We also have RSV already for folks. We'll do blood pressure checks. We have some of the community folks will be joining us. Hospice will be there, the health department. We'll have somebody there from LabCorp will be there. Our partners will be inside the building. We'll have food. We'll have cake at noon to celebrate the 1-year anniversary and to thank people for supporting us to get to this point in our services. After 1978, it's a long time to be working out of Scarborough. So to feel this kind of legacy for the community and feel supported by it is something we'll thank people for during that event.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they're grateful as well, because I know that the New River Health, coming to Oak Hill was like a big deal, and yeah. I believe we were there to cover it.
Yeah, it was a big deal because Kmart sat there empty for so long, and we spent a lot of time out there during COVID, checking people and giving people vaccines and doing the testing. We spent the better part of 6 months out there. Kind of like a MASH unit. We had the tent, we had the folks on the data, we had everything going on, we had the lines and all the road cones, and it was quite a spectacle for a long time out there, and our staff noticed, people noticed that our staff, they talked about the fact that they didn't have to get out of their car, and they, how much they appreciated knowing that we were right there. And so moving into that spot right after that made it really, made that connection full circle.
Yeah, and it was actually, I know the pandemic was a terrible time for everybody, but I guess it was an opportune time for you guys to be there, to be able to offer your services to the people in the community.
It was like we aren't in it yet, but we can be in the parking lot. We can, that we've got a lot of work to do inside, but we still had, like I said, we rented tents and we had, the staff out there and tables and everything that we needed, and people did appreciate that. We got a lot of feedback from that, so I know that from that we knew that the possibility was good, that we would make out well there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're running up on our first break, but before we go, do you mind plugging the contact information so people can get in touch with you?
Sure. New River Health, we're located in 3 counties, but you can call or text 304-469-2905 and reach anybody at any site.
Awesome. All right, and thank you. And thank you all for joining us for our first half. Be sure to tune into our second half where I speak more with Cindy Whitlock about New River Health and all that they have to offer. Welcome back to Sunday Community Forum. I'm here with Cindy Whitlock, who is the Director of School-Based Health for New River Health, and we're talking about everything that New River Health has to offer. And so we're going into, it's getting colder, so we're getting the flu season and things like that. Then I know you all offer vaccines. So what is your recommendation for vaccines?
This is the time of year all our pharmacies are prepared. We have the flu shot, we have the new COVID vaccine, we have RSV vaccines. The advertising for that is don't kiss the baby. It's like don't kiss, everybody wants to kiss the baby, and don't kiss the baby unless you've been vaccinated for RSV. And of course adult vaccines like pneumonia and shingles, we also deal with that, and we try to make sure that adults, don't wait to get shingles. You don't want shingles. If you can, and pneumonia, there is a pneumonia vaccine as well. So we try to take care of that, and then we do what the kids need in the schools. I think it's kindergarten, 2nd and 7th grade, and maybe 12th grade too, that they need specific shots, and we can do that at our wellness centers once we get permission from the parent, so they don't have to take the child out of school to their pediatrician or their family doctor. And let me just state again, for people who assume that we're taking over business, we're not. So when the child leaves school and the child needs, has tonsillitis repeatedly and they need an ENT, and then we don't supplant that. We complement the services, and we share charts with other professionals who might need records for kids. We don't take over the family's connection to a podiatrist or a pediatrician or anybody like that, but we're ground level primary care, and we do referrals for every kind of ailment or illness or operation or knee replacement you might need. So we don't do those services, but we make that connection. And in school health, we don't take over for your family doctor or your dentist. We just do the screenings that the kids might need, at the help they might need on the spot, and then they can go to their family doctor.
I kind of see it as like a team effort,
We hope it is. We hope it is, yes.
And some of the stuff you're catching early,
Right,
with
exactly.
the kids, since they're right there at school.
Yes.
And it's honestly, I think it will be helpful to, other providers and their regular
Yes.
providers
Oh,
to
yeah.
get that
I mean,
information.
Yes. Yesterday, my grandson came home with a note that he'd been exposed to pink eye. Well, fair warned, we're warned now.
Mm-hmm.
We know that may or may not happen, and that's highly contagious. And that happens in the schools too. We can make sure that, okay, it's strep season, it's this season. And masking, people are turned off by the idea of masks, but masks also help with the strep throat season, the flu season, all these other things that we didn't see a lot of during COVID because everybody was wearing a mask. So don't feel odd about asking your child or wearing a mask yourself, because you may be protecting somebody else from something like RSV or strep throat or flu.
And one of the other benefits that I found in mask when we were all masking was it kept us warm during the winter.
Yeah,
so that was another great thing.
Something to be said about the warmth, yes. But I see people driving around in their cars with masks on, and I always find that curious. They're protecting the dog in the back seat.
I guess
I don't
so.
know.
Yeah. Keep it as safe as possible.
Exactly. Don't open the window.
Yeah. So, New River Health has like a wide range of, services, and we were talking a little bit about that during our break. And yes. There's some, for recovery, those right, in recovery from, drug addiction. So right. Can you speak a little bit about that?
We have a medically assisted treatment program, and that program is not, you come in, you sign up, you get the drug that you need to get you through to recovery, and you leave. We don't do business like that. You get a physician, you get a mental health counselor, you get team meetings, you have to have the medical checks and the lab work that goes along with this. When you get the prescriptions, you match the barcode to the barcode. It's quite strict on purpose, because we feel like the stricter we can be, the less likely people will turn away. I mean, they know the rules. They get into the mode of being in recovery instead of being addicted. And the more help we can give them, the less likely they are to relapse. Relapse is a normal, unfortunate happening with drug addiction, with alcohol. Smoking cessation, people fall back, but we're there to catch them every time. We have people in the program right now, I think, that have been in recovery for 3 years. A married couple, they strove to get their kids, and it all worked out. And then in the community, we have a system of day report and a system of in the courts where people get help, and we are connected there too. So we have people on staff that go to the meetings that a person might have with a judge, and speak for them and speak how this is our program. You referred them to our program because it's this way, and this is where they're at. So it's a system in the community, and it works. The health department's involved. There's a lot of input into that. We have a community resource person that'll help. You know, when you get your first apartment again, you don't have any kitchenware, you don't have any furniture. We try to help make the connection between people in recovery so that they don't feel defeated and they have those baby steps. We had a garden with them down at the annex when we were down at Scarborough. Whatever we can do to give them alternative things to do, give them gainfully employed, get them so that they can get their kids back and start a home and start over and be safe and healthy individuals, which is what they all want to be and we want them to be.
That's great. Like, it seems like it's very structured, but it's also, you know, really addressing some of the other non-medical parts of addiction that sort of lead people to relapse.
Right, exactly. And you know, the story in Dope Sick or any book you read about West Virginia becoming involved in how high our OD rate is and how high our grand families rate is and everything that relies on that. You know, we have a lot of folks in this state that have been injured in logging and coal mines, and we have a lot of that kind of industry in this state. And what we found historically is some of that is started with an actual legal prescription. And that leads to addiction. So it's not just a West Virginia story, it's a nationwide story.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's wonderful. I mean, especially that we're talking about this in its Recovery Month.
Yes,
so
it is Recovery
that's great,
Month.
and
Yes.
it's good information, you know, for the people out there that may need it.
Yes, it is.
So you all also offer physical therapy. Or PT, rather.
We have a partner, Mick Bates, and he's got physical therapy leased space and his gym, and he's been expanding. He's in Princeton, Bluefield. I don't know where else he's expanded to, but he chose, thankfully, to expand to us so we can refer to him. You know, depending, a lot of these things depend on people's insurance. We have referral clerks, and they make calls when somebody needs PT, and you know, he's very receptive to all the help that he can give in the community, and he's a very strong supporter of healthcare and wellness for everybody. So he's one of the, and he's right there on the corner where the garden center used to be.
All right, so if you need a, I guess, referral over there, then
we can
can
refer there, yes. We have Chris Gross, who has a chiropractic business in Beckley, comes to Oak Hill Tuesdays and Thursdays. He has full service chiropractic there all day long, and a massage therapist who is, you know, not the spa massage, the medical massage. So if you have, you know, frozen shoulder or sciatic or depression even, headaches, TMJ, migraines, there's a lot of things that people don't realize that they can connect to Chris and the help that he offers. And he's located in our center, our facility, corner of our facility is very large, and it was built for pulmonary rehab. So the people who come in there have lung challenges, lung issues. So we get coal miners with black lung, we get people with COPD, people with asthma, people with long COVID, and they come in there and we have verifiable routines for them, and we can hook oxygen tanks into our equipment there so that they are not, if that's needed, they're monitored the whole time that they're there, so their progression, you know, they're sent home with kind of homework too, but we have all the machinery, the equipment that they might need, and two, you know, respiratory therapists that work with them. Also in that area of our building is a benefits counselor. We have, and what she does is she helps you. If you age out of your insurance with your parents, you can have insurance with your parents till you're 26, I think. If you age out of that and don't have medical insurance and you're still in college or whatever, she can help you find the options that you have. She doesn't sell insurance. She tries to connect the person based on their living expenses, based on their income, based on their needs and their age, what they might need, and then they choose, and then she gets them lined out to be in there. So a black lung diagnosis, that person can go to her and find specific things that they might need. People who have lost a job, people who have started a job and don't have health insurance, people who just had kids, people who got divorced or widowed, any kind of new situation in your life, if you're thinking, wait a minute, you know, I was attached to their insurance. Kelly can help with that, and she does a really good job, and it's objective. There is no selling of insurance. It's just information, and then she will act for you and get you started on what you need to do. She can do it over the phone, or she can do it in person.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And really helpful, because I know a lot of people struggle with that
yes,
insurance
and they
thing.
talk over the back fence to their neighbor and say what you know, and they get bad advice is the wrong word, incorrect advice. So they think that I've got to sign up for this by then, or I lose it, or you know, you get all that going on in the community. You know, my best advice I can give is don't do that. Don't listen to the person you sit next to inquire, or the person over in your brother-in-law. Come and see Kelly, because not everybody's the same, and the person you may be talking to giving you advice, that advice may not fit your situation at all, and you may not be eligible for what they are. So she can clear that up for you, and I go straight to the person who knows the facts.
Absolutely. Go see Kelly. You
go see Kelly.
You need insurance? Yeah. Go talk to Kelly.
Or she'll find you.
All right, so we're about a minute out from ending our show, but before we go, one more time, do you mind plugging the information so people can get in touch with you?
New River Health, you can get us online and just type in New River Health WV and you'll find us. You'll also find us on Facebook, and our number is, you can either call or text 304-469-2905.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much for coming to the forum today and giving us all this good information.
Great.
Absolutely. And thank you all for joining us this Sunday. Be sure to turn in next Sunday, where we speak to another distinguished guest about important things going on here in Southern West Virginia. And you guys have a happy Sunday.